First off, apologies for the acoustics of the room. I'm new to this. Don't yell at me, please. Thank you. Now, if you're already into the headphone space, you should already recognize this brand, Audio-Technica. They make a lot of headphones, including these ones, the M50X's. They also make the 8700X's, 81000X's, R70X's, a whole bunch of stuff, you know? But these ones are arguably their most popular headphones, the M50X's, because of the likes of like MKBHD and the popular reviewers who make these headphones pretty good for a reputation. But I'm here to say that that reputation is not nearly as good as they make it. So first, I'm going to just list off all the pros that I like about the headphone personally, what I find that's actually enjoyable about them. To begin, you'll see straight away, these have a removable cable. This is actually pretty nice. They include 3 cables in the box. The first one you'll find in the box, 4-foot cable, straight end to end, and it's got the little locking mechanism that you'll see on the headphones as well. You also got yourself a coiled cable that, after extending, goes all the way out to 10 feet. Really handy, I actually use this one the most. But it also includes a 1/4 inch adapter that screws on. That way you won't lose it. I find that pretty handy. Then you have just, boom, spaghetti, 10-foot cable. Of course you can screw your adapter on the end of this as well. And once again, the locking mechanism. The locking mechanism's on all 3 of them, I should probably point that out. The actual plastics they use to construct this are actually pretty decent, aside for the hinges, which I'll get back on a little bit later. Arguably, this isn't that cheap a plastic, and it's actually really decently constructed for being 150 bucks, brand new. And the ear pads actually feel alright. For being pleather, they actually sit pretty nice, they breathe fairly well. They do get a little dirty, but that's kind of expected with headphones, especially white ones. And just overall, the simplicity of the build is actually pretty nice. They don't stand out too much, they don't try and flash anything other than the logo, but it's kind of like just engraved in here. And also the little details like the metal ring, metal stripe down here, just give it a little bit of extra character that's not super flamboyant, but also pretty nice. And also these swivel joints make it so they sit pretty nicely on your shoulders and they won't get in the way. These are also pretty portable, just in general. They come with like a leather carrying case, which I've never used, but I guess that's nice. You can just throw everything in there and then just push it. There you go. And honestly, that's all the nice things I really have to say about this headphone. These are honestly not that great, just in general. The actual headband, if I remove this cover here, I'll show you, they started to crack. And that's not really that nice. And also there's not really that much plush to begin with. Having a leather headband feels nice on the head, but after a while it really starts to show why it's not that great in the long run. And as I was saying before, these hinges are really not that good. They're just a cheap little plastic tab on the inside that holds them in, that prevents them from going out completely. And also, after I had to install these, since the little tabs on the inside broke, they don't fold in all the way exactly. And that's a bit of a problem for portability. Like I was saying earlier, these ear pads are just okay. Especially the inside, they require a lot of attention and need to be cleaned fairly frequently because they're white. That's honestly on me though. That's the problem of having white electronics. And then personally for me, the locking mechanism, I don't really like it that much. If it unplugs if your headphone cord unplugs, you can just put it right back in. There's not really any harm to it. And arguably the most important thing for most people, sound. They're really strangely mid-range heavy, but also bass heavy and treble heavy at the same time. It's really strange. Another really important thing when it comes to sound is how wide they actually feel and the detail. These are undetailed pieces of garbage. Everything just sounds fuzzy. In terms of the actual timbre, they're very strangely metallic. And if you don't tune these headphones, they are very, very up close and personal. They almost kind of just squash everything right around your head, as opposed to having everything laid back and just spacious. Anything like main vocals will be very, very upfront and personal. And anything that's like cymbals or any like background instruments will still be like spaced accordingly, but they won't be very far at all. They'll all be very strangely placed. Now, what I will say about these headphones, they're more for analytical purposes. Of course, no one should actually buy these headphones if you want to actually listen to music. For that, I'd recommend either the Shure SRH 440 or 840, depending on if you have more money to spend or not. The SRH 440 will do perfectly fine for most people. The SRH 840 just has a more accurate frequency response and better performance overall. But either way, with all that out of the way, I personally cannot recommend these headphones just because they're not really meant for the general public. These are definitely more analytical headphones than, say, something that you'd want to listen to on your own time. And I'm going to be honest, you're better off spending some money on headphones like these, Philips X2 HRs. Now, these things are way more comfortable, have a way better headband, and these overall are just much nicer for general listening if you want to actually listen to music or you want to watch movies and have that actual feeling that you're, like, say, watching them live or actually there in the studio with them. These are just generally a much better option. To me, these have a better frequency response, more consistency, and significantly wider soundstage because these are open backs, while these are closed backs. However, this will mean that they leak significantly, so be careful where you bring these because other people will hear what you're listening to. And these ear pads are also memory foam, so they feel really nice and they sit well on your ears. Now, I will say for these headphones in particular, they don't swivel nearly as much. They do have some play, so you can actually position them on your head properly, but that's about it. They do also have a detachable cable, which is really nice, but this time it's a standard 3.5mm, so you can actually replace it with whatever cable you want. Whereas with the M50X's, you have to buy a replacement cable from Audio-Technica, or just get one that's 2.5mm that has the locking mechanism that these have, which is annoying because there's only a select few cables that actually do that. But as I was saying earlier, this headband is significantly better, being that it's actually a suspension style headband as opposed to just a headband. It's got more padding, it's more breathable because it's actually mesh, and it's just much nicer overall. However, if you're looking for something on the go, as opposed to these X2s, I'd recommend the SRH 440, as I've said before, because those are closed backs and they actually seal your ears. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, maybe even subscribe. Helps me know that you guys actually want to see these kinds of videos and lets me know if you guys want more of this type of content rather than what I've been uploading in the past. Now that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now go get out of here. Go do something with your life, man.